Okay, these are pretty quick, so. Personal demon. A man who went swimming in a canal was attacked by an alligator. After a brief but fierce struggle, he was able to escape, though the creature took his leg. At the hospital, the doctor told him, "Don't worry, man, they found the gator. We'll fix you right up." But when the man awoke and peered beneath the sheet, he found not his leg, but the gator, minus its tail, asleep and sewn to his stump. He screamed for the doctor, who came, white coat flying. "Well," said the doctor, "we did the best we could. Maybe now you two will learn to get along." We've all heard of Adele. Do we like Adele? Do we not like Adele? This will start a fist fight then between the people who do and do not like Adele.
This will start.
A contemporary problem. A man walked down a busy street at midday. He didn't look well. In fact, his appearance was so distressing that several people stopped to ask whether he was okay. "I'm full," grunted the man. "I'm too full." Just then he coughed and a tiny Adele spilled from his mouth and fell to the sidewalk. His face had taken on a particularly gray-green hue, and he buttressed himself against a building. Suddenly he doubled over and began to heave, and hundreds of tiny Adeles came out of his mouth. The Adeles ran about like mice, singing about their bitterness and disappointment. Some of the Adeles ran into traffic and were crushed. Others clotted around the feet of passers-by. One climbed the top of a fire hydrant. Another was snatched up by a pigeon. "I'm sorry," said the man, straightening a bit. "I'm better now." A woman who'd been standing nearby was up to her ankles in tiny Adeles. "That's fine for you," she said, "but who's going to clean up this mess?" This is called, that's questionable. I know that one is questionable. This one takes place in a morgue. It's called I Got People. The bodies, each wrapped in heavy plastic sheeting, are brought in and placed on wheeled metal tables. The temperature hovers at 40 degrees Fahrenheit, slowing both the decay and the flow of rusty bilge that flees the body after death. The mind tries to make of this scene something other than it is, perhaps a spa or a fishery, a place ice sculptures go to melt in slow dignity. Even the slang of the place only hints at its true nature: floaters, stinkers, briquettes. If any place could wish to be other than it is, it would be this place. Ned has worked here 30 years, says sometimes he'll imagine instead a casino, each table bristling with activity, or the sound of chips stacked and unstacked, or other times the silence brings to mind a clockmaker's shop, gears, springs, sweep pans, and bezels gleaming under a lamp's cold halo. One thing he says never fades is the smell. In the early days he'd wear a dab of Vicks at each nostril. Nowadays, he no longer bothers. Be surprised what you get used to, he says. Still, he takes a half-hour bath each night after work. Ask him if he ever thinks he'll end up here, and he shakes his head. "This is where the unlucky go," he says. "The ones who got nobody. Me, I got people." Last one. This is sort of a Russell Edson takeoff.
Say clap.
Yeah, you snapping? Arthur's Carnival. Arthur awoke with a carnival where his head had been. His eyes were dunking boots, his ears tilt-a-whirls, and his mouth a roller coaster. His hair was filled with jugglers and sword swallowers, and even an armless man who could make pretzels with his toes. "Oh, God," said his wife, "we have to get you to the hospital." "Not yet," said Arthur. "The fire eater's about to go on." That's all.